Foreword of Supreme Personality by Delmer Eugene Croft. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Andrea Fiore. Supreme Personality by Delmer Eugene Croft. Life is self-realization. Every birth is divine. We are born anew every morning. My wish is that you may catch the gleam, be free from limitations, and enter upon your boundless possibilities. Your endowments are so rich and rare. There is no other person in the world just like you. You have genius, which if brought forth into the sunlight, would glorify with brilliant inspiration 1,000 lives. You have insight that, if it were energized, would make the desert blossom as the rose. You have initiative that once illuminated would create an empire fairer than any ever raised in marble. You have harmony lying latent in the vast octaves of your being, which if awakened into melody would soothe, comfort, restore, and purify the passions of the world. You have beauty, matchless in forms of grace, which if breathed into marble or spread in soul colors upon the canvas, would adorn the palaces of kings. You have thoughts, which if given expression, would burn and shine through countless ages and bear their messages of hope and power to fainting multitudes. To bring you into the throne room of your being, that you may awaken in self-realization, is why I have prepared this course of lessons. Should you give 5 minutes a day to them, in a year you will know the joy there is in life, in power, and in service. The author. End of foreword. Recording by Andrea Fiore. Chapter 1 of Supreme Personality. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Recording by Andrea Fiore. Supreme Personality by Delmer Eugene Croft. Chapter 1. Supreme Control of Conditions. Conditions are thought-made. Change your thought, and you will change your condition. To agonize and struggle in a bad condition is like struggling in quicksand. You get in deeper. Tell your bad conditions to another, and you multiply them. If the heavens are falling and the earth is slipping under your feet, grab a big Turkish towel, walk briskly into the supreme sanctuary of the body, the bathroom. Take a thorough saltwater bath with a few drops of perfume in it to awaken your self-respect. Then in a darkened, quiet room, take a good sleep of 10 to 15 hours. Then rise and eat slowly, quietly and happily, some nourishing food. God himself could do nothing with Elijah until he had given him a long sleep and a good meal. Then Elijah went forth and crowned a king, appointed a prophet, established a kingdom, and rode home in chariots of fire. Once you make a start, the world is at your command. Let go of the past. Stop the foolish thinking that conditions hold you. It is you holding on to conditions. Quit your self-pity, blaming others, and saying you are the victim of circumstances. Stop whining and begin singing. Then your feet will be loosed from the stocks and the iron gates open outward before you. Look away from yourself. Is your will asleep at the wheel? Awake it. See if you are sailing or drifting. Set the compass of your mind to new thoughts, fresh purposes, selfless desires. Fill your sails with boundless hope, and let your daily voyage spell service in a big way. You are not a chip on the river of life. You are a supreme master in a universe of facts. You think you are stuck in the harbor mud, but it is only that the tide is out. Command your will to put up the sails. God will send you wind and tide to bear you out of the stale, sordid mental and bodily conditions you are living in, give you wider horizon and a limitless ocean of experience. If anybody does not wish to sail with you, leave them on the shore. Let go of your past. Break away from conditions that hold you in slavery. Seek new scenery, form new surroundings. Begin a new supreme life. Keep your body supreme. Go back to nature. Be a fine animal. Get into the sunshine, the silent woods, the open fields. Magnetize your body by walking through the dew barefooted, by sleeping on the grass, or half buried in the sand. Tuberculosis, rheumatism, insomnia are unknown to wild animals. Our bodies are sick and weak because we have denatured ourselves. Make friends of the wild animals. They will teach you how to keep well. They have not a single case of nervous prostration in all their vast forest home. Learn to relax, drop your tension, and check your confusion. Stop a few minutes sometime in the day and quiet your nerves, rest your muscles, calm your senses, soothe your thoughts, somewhere in the sunshine or under the shade of an old apple tree. Eat simply, slowly, nuts, dates, cereals, fruits. Drink abundantly of water between meals. Dress less somber. Study your personal appearance. Give it harmony. Keep your body well groomed. A bath and haircut will change the outlook of life. Quit habits that weaken the body. Never talk about your bodily weaknesses, illness, or condition, nor listen to those of others. Criticize your body and it will fail you. Praise your body and it will serve you. Take air baths, cold water plunges, or cold water sponges every morning. Fix your mind upon having a sound and energized body, and you will attract it. Exercise, walk, run, play, work, and learn to rest. Change your habits of living. Cut out the grouch. Stop nagging. You're sour because your pores are stopped up. Get a buck saw and take a sweat. You're morbidly blue because your solar plexus has gone to sleep. Give it half an hour of internal vibration. Don't knock the weather. Like it. Get into it. Let it put iron into your blood. Plunge into a storm. It will act as a tonic on your spirit. A dip in the ocean will add magnetism to your body. Your body is a mighty fine engine of marvelous energy. Overfed, underfed, overburdened, neglected, abused, weakened, shamefully talked about, yet year after year it goes on generating the divinest thing in the universe, life. It transmutes profane elements into divine energy, washes a river of blood free of tons of poison, supports a brain that builds and rules limitless empires, sustains a vision that dissolves darkness into light, the unknown into the known, upholds the image of, and is the temple of the living God. Your body is supreme. Keep it divine. Strip your body bare and lie in the sunshine. Let it soak deeply into the tissue. It will magnetize your body and renew it with youth. Take these sun baths every sunny day possible by lying on a couch before a large window, or even better, out in the open air. If you want a magnetic body that is supple, elastic, and youthful, give it sun baths and air baths daily. Keep your mind supreme. Your mind is limitless. You were born to lead, not to be always led. Think for yourself. Do your own planning. Make new plans. Train your mind to think alone. Misery is rust on a mind that has stopped working. Train your mind to delight people. Don't follow the crowd, but step softly among human hearts. Train your mind to think big. Expand your mind until it encircles the universe. Stop fussing over little things, over useless people, and fill your mind with new ideals and fresh purpose. Stop wailing over flowers that will never blossom on the north side of your house. Go around to the south side and make a new garden. You have a temperament that is likely to be misunderstood. That's fine. So did Savonarola, Columbus, Galileo, Luther, Whitefield, Emerson, Lincoln, and Christ. 7 cities fought for Homer, dead, through whose streets the living Homer begged his bread. The reputation of Christ was just the opposite of his character. These stood thinking their brave thoughts on the horizon where truth asks you to stand. You are better than you think, or as good. You are the sum total of your thinking. Build thought palaces, not mud huts. Create, originate, produce new ideas. Beware of dead monotony. It kills the brain. Unfetter your thoughts from notions, prejudices, and limitations. Think well of yourself. Think well of what you have. Think well of what you do. Think invincibly. Think persistently. Think with unflinching resolve. Concentration is getting at a thing, thinking it, planning it, preparing for it, working on it, doing it. Your conditions, mental, physical, financial, are thought made. Fill your mind with different thoughts and you will have different conditions. Thoughts gather around you the things you want. When you stop thinking of them, they pass away. Thoughts are seeds. They produce after their kind. A little thought will shake off useless conditions and confused environment. Think fun into your daily events. Don't be over serious. It breeds disease germs, just as anger and hate induce cancer, tumor, and liver troubles. Start a hurricane of jollity. Break loose in a thunderstorm of mirth. It will clear the atmosphere under a roof, just as a thunderstorm clears the air over the roof. On the other hand, there is a season to weep. Never smother your emotion. To choke it back stifles the heart. Lift the floodgates and let your tears water the garden of your heart. Be renewed in the spirit of your mind. That is the life. Be renewed every morning, for each day is a new life, a fresh world, the beginning of eternity. Think your thought-created enemies into thought-created friends. Think your thought-created suspicions into thought-created confidences. Thought has drawn you into your conditions. It will pull you out. Your soul, your mind, your body cannot become ugly, useless, imprisoned, so long as you think supreme harmony, dominion, and love. Thought makes your body a hovel, your mind a madhouse, or thought makes your body a temple, and your mind a shrine where angels commune with you. Environment, conditions, circumstances are not your masters. They are materials out of which thought makes the beautiful mosaics of character. Light the candle of a new thought and diligently sweep every corner of your mind, and you shall find the rare treasure, happiness. Put fun into your thinking. Do not take yourself so serious. Put the red blood of mirth into your daily thinking. Keep your will supreme. Your will is divine energy. Therefore, it is a supreme power. Christ said, "Be it unto thee, even as thou wilt." It is inertia that suffers. Fate, fear, and doubt are children of the imagination. The power of the will dissolves them into mist. Willpower into your being. Willpower into your work. Willpower into your ambitions. Willpower into your expressions. Willpower into your words. And you shall be a fellow workman with God, a master builder that needeth not be ashamed. Your will gives you infinite clearness, infinite strength, infinite ideals, infinite aspirations for infinite realities. Your will tells you that if there is anything today that seems to you too good to be true, believe it, endeavor toward it, reach forth to receive it, and tomorrow it will be true. Will is the engine in the depths of the ship that drives it through the buffeting waves and storm to the distant harbor. Will puts your backbone where your wishbone is now. Will puts iron into your blood, tightens up your vertebrae, and makes you a self-starter. You may have lost your battle. Your will stands ready for another battle campaign. You miss an opportunity. Your will stands ready to open the door to 100 new ones. Delay is the mother of most failures. One thing worse than a quitter is the person afraid to begin. Your will gives you purpose and makes you stick to it. Get grit for a new siege. Will makes desire. Will makes brains. Will gives decision. To decide means to cut deep into the world of possibilities, cut out of your prison of difficulties, cut through your jungle of opposition to liberty, to health, to success, to supreme power. Think, plan, do it. Will heals disease. Will drives poisons out of the system. Will makes the body immune. Will illuminates the brain with brilliant perception. Will sweeps misfortunes aside and rebuilds a nobler success. Julius Caesar trained his supreme will until it became the dominion of the Roman Empire. The goddess Diana said of Hercules, "When I saw him, whether he sat or stood, I knew he was a god, so majestic as his will." Like the magnetic mountain in the Arabian Nights, your will can draw the nails from your enemy's ships, so they shall fall to pieces before they reach your shores. Will is a dynamic cosmic energy from whence eternal things proceed and immortal organisms are constructed. Will is the glory of the divine universe, and you are a part of that will. In your will sleep the oracles of prophecy. You were made master over this world. In your will is enthroned sovereignty, dominion, kingship. With force of will, Pygmalion carved his soul dream into the marble until its loveliness of form and grace became so real as to take on life and motion. With force of will, Dante created his hell, and with force of will, Milton created his paradise regained. Put your will into command. Start new. Realize that you are supreme. Get a mind picture of what you want to be, what you want to do, then actualize it. Get above doubts. Do not wait to be well, to be happy, to be rich. All of these will be added unto you. Climb out of your prison of doubts, worries, fears. Begin where you are. Let your will create, even as God creates. He that believeth shall not perish, shall not abide in darkness, shall have the light of life, shall have everlasting life. All things are possible to him that believeth. Come down out of the gallery of supine hero worshippers. Get into the arena and be the hero. Quit the drivel of matinee idle longing, and get onto the stage of life, and get the bouquets for yourself. The world is waiting to ring up the curtain for your star part in life. You can work miracles. A miracle is a wonder, a marvel, a supernatural occurrence, a result obtained by suspension of natural processes. You can do that any day. The miracle is that so few do it. You know Ibsen's play, The Dollhouse, how the wife forged a note, raised the money to send her husband to regain his health. How he did regain it, returned to great prominence and wealth as a banker. Then the blackmailer threatened to reveal the crime. How the husband rushed to his wife in anger that she should have done such a thing, that it meant ruin to him in his high position. How the wife replied, "Why, I expected the miracle, that you would save me as I saved you, that you would say that you did it." If he only had, what a marvelous, what a wonderful, what a supernatural thing it would have been. Christ made whole and useful a withered hand. People say, "Oh, that I could do such a wonderful thing." Well, why don't you? See the withered hands around you. A young woman with a beautiful voice, but no means to cultivate it. You have 1,000 or so in the bank. You can save that voice to a world that needs song. A young man with a fine mind, helpless to go through college. You have means to give that mind to a world in power and usefulness. The natural thing is for you not to do it. The supernatural, the miracle, is that you are divine enough to do it. A man, a woman, is forsaken, friendless, cruelly judged by the world, their goodness blasted, their spirit crushed, their hearts bleeding, their lives made useless, withered. The natural thing is to avoid such, stand aloof, be quite scornfully indifferent. The miracle would happen if you went to them, lifted them up, restored them to society. I have said, avoid useless people. I mean selfish, lazy, purposeless, aimless people. Sir Humphrey Davy worked a miracle when he took the boy Faraday out of a stable loft and gave him a chance to cultivate his genius. The Sistine Chapel is Angelo's miracle. When the band on the deck of the Titanic, under the pale light of the morning stars, played "Nearer, My God, to Thee," to give hope and strength to men and women struggling to be saved, each player, as the voice of his melody was forever hushed behind the shining emerald gates in the crystal tomb of the sea, went down, crowned with the glory of a selfless miracle. The natural thing would have been for them to have frantically fought to save themselves. What superb opportunities to work miracles have passed you? What magnificent possibilities are still right before you? The cripple is always at your gate, beautiful. Are you divine enough, wonderful enough, marvelous enough, supernatural enough to say, "Such as I have, give I unto thee"? Do it quickly. Do it, and you shall know the daily joy of hearing the Father say, "This is my Son, in whom I am well pleased." If there is any one person on this earth to whom I take off my hat and wait until they safely pass, it is a school teacher. The most obscure teacher, back in the country hills, unknown, unthought of, unpraised, but with loving patience, unfolds the secrets of knowledge to little frowsy-headed boys and girls, can look into her mirror at evening and behold the face of an angel. Flowers cast their wealth upon the vacant air, and rich fathers oft cast their wealth upon the vacant air. Some people are so sensitive that if you call them honey, they will break out with hives the next morning. Do not divorce your husband because he has cold feet. Perhaps he got them since you were married. Christ stopped every funeral that came his way and sent the mourners home singing. Funeral sermons were too sad for him to preach. Every sick room he entered became a health resort. He made graveyards unpopular. Many a lonely bachelor looking back over the stretch of years recalls the charming moonlit nights when the cool summer air was perfumed with fresh old-fashioned flowers, and he looked into the loving eyes of his sweetheart, recalls how the crimson glow of youth flushed her velvet cheeks as he took her warm hand in his, recalls sadly that if he had only given that hand a square deal, played it in the game of life, he would have a full house now. Would you like to become young? Then tap new reservoirs of youthful thoughts. Irrigate your alkali desert from the fountains of youth. Become youthfully active in some new field of work. Vanderbilt added 10 million to his fortune after he was 80. Wordsworth earned the laureateship at 73. Thiers established the French Republic and became its first president at 72. Verdi wrote Falstaff at 80. Sir Walter Scott was $600,000 in debt when he was 55, but through his own efforts, he paid all and made himself a lasting name. Book knowledge is not all. A wealthy, fond father, fearing his son be contaminated by college life, had him educated at home. When he was 21, he took him to ride through the streets of the city. They passed a female seminary just as the doors opened and a crowd of young women came out. The dear boy grabbed his father's arm and cried, "What are those?" His father replied, "They are only goslings." Later in the day, the fond father said, "My son, you have obeyed me, have faithfully completed your education. Now I am ready to spend $50,000 to give you the highest ambition of your life." The boy looked up in glad wonder and said, "Oh, Dad, give me a gosling." End of chapter 1. Recording by Andrea Fiore. Chapter 2 of Supreme Personality. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Recording by Andrea Fiore. Supreme Personality by Delmer Eugene Croft. Chapter 2. Supreme Control of Age. Youth is eternal. Nature never grows old. The flowers that bloomed in Eden are blooming today, just as lovely, just as sweet, just as fresh and unchanged. The roses your life mate brings home to you have the same fragrance as the roses Adam brought to Eve, if he thought of it. The lovely stars that glitter in the azure fields above you tonight have the same loveliness that gleamed in tremulous glory down upon the shepherds beyond Bethlehem. The radiant, life-giving rays of the sun that 10,000 years ago warmed Mother Earth into vernal spring life are the same life-giving rays that shall bring again the spring tide. Life never grows old, it only changes form. Your life is perpetual, then your youth may be perpetual. The human race is ever young, its units fall off. You should be younger at 60 than at 16, because you have more life. Growing old is a habit. People travel along the years up the hill of life, till they reach a certain point where they begin to think they must be growing old. Think it's time to sag, think it's time to droop, think it's time to begin the process of decay. Then begin to talk about it, to write letters about it, to feel around for it, to look for it in others. Finally, the habit they inherited from the race is on, and they are old. Life is endless, but you can think it short. The power of an endless life is within you, but by thinking, you can turn it to the white ashes of old age. Think youth, and you stay young. Youth is growth. Keep growing, and you keep young. A new idea will make you feel younger. Develop it, and it will develop you. Quicken your mental throb with new ideas. Begin now. Stop talking about being too old to grow. You pass by trees daily, 100, 200 years old. They are still growing. The rose bush on a wall in China is supposed to be over 1,000 years old. It bears more roses now than when it was a mere slip of a vine of only 100. Gladstone at 82 was a growing statesman and elected Prime Minister of England for the 4th time. Cato at 80 began to study Greek and renewed the youth of his mind. Donald Davis is a growing hunter at 103. Goddard Diamond was a growing teacher of health when he was 111. I know a bright, cheery lady who is just beginning a new study for decorating china, along with her household cares, and she is 88. Also another woman who has taken up a new process of enlarging drawings into watercolors, and she is 81 years young. The fig tree withered when the master of life found it not growing, producing, creating. When you stop growing, you will wither by the same law. Grow something, create something, produce something, and the law of youth will pervade your being. Youth is observing the law. Observing the law of health, the law of mind, the law of growth, the law of harmony, the law of production. the law of expression, the law of beauty, the law of selflessness. Keep your bodily forces up. Rebuild destroyed tissue. Keep the system free of waste. Stop poisoning your body with anger, hate, jealousy, fear. Keep your mind sweet. Think cheerfully. Avoid mental turmoil and excitement. Two great enemies of youth are worry and fear. The next is selfishness. Think every morning when you rise, this new day is new life. It is fresh from the hand of God. It is mine to use. I will increase it unto the perfect day. Grow in each day, and make each day grow. Check discord. Quit useless discussion, for it weakens and withers. Stop quarreling. Check complainings. Root criticism out of your life. You are bigger than these things. Get into harmony. You are the world upon worlds, universe unto universe. Study your words to make them have beauty, your walk to have grace, your personality to make it magnetic, your smile to give courage and comfort, your presence to have it healing, helping, inspiring. If there be any virtue in whatsoever things are lovely, think on those things. Youth is loving work. Like what you do. Do what makes you and others happy. Enter your daily work with joy. Adjust it until you do like it. Learn to love work for the happiness it brings. Put joy into your work in the morning, and you will find it multiplied into happiness at night. Work is a law of youth. Inaction is decay. Inertia is death. Men and women do not usually lose their positions. They drive their positions away from them. The law of work will not stand personal abuse, any more than the law of beauty will endure brutality. Form an ideal of your work. Make a mental picture of it. Simplify it, orderly it, beautify it, then glorify it. Start the process in the slightest degree and you will get a result. Put a new shock absorber on your disposition. Bring your fine sensibilities to your work. Be big morally, be deep mentally, and work with confident expectation. Put rules and system into your daily task. Exercise your self-control, your self-possession, self-mastery. March up to your task with efficiency, backed by a dominant will. Realize your supreme personality in your work. Put the absolute I am into your purpose of toil. Put dominating decision, I have decided, into your efforts. Put invincible determination, I will, into your complex problem. Put irresistible confidence, I shall achieve, into your ardent desires. You will then love work. When you come to love work, you will not exhaust yourself in it. You will not tire your brain and body with its friction, because you will not work with selfish purposes, but work to enrich the world. Love is the fulfilling of the law. Youth is supreme cheerfulness. To be funless is to be lifeless. Good cheer is the tonic of youth. If you are so sad you cannot laugh at something, then laugh at nothing. Laugh in the world, you know it. An ounce of smiles will give you more real life than 7 tons of solemncholy. Cheerfulness and prosperity go hand in hand. Bathe in mirth. Frolic in some sunshine daily, even if you live in Pittsburgh and have to make your own sunshine. Make fun. Don't always buy it. You can cure disease and kill the devil with laughter. Cultivate an infectious laugh. Mirth makes work easy. Read humor and learn to tell it. Practice telling a good, funny story. Be a quick wit. There is a bright side to everything in this world, even to a dark lantern. The end of the film is sure to be jolly. Good cheer attracts good luck. Cheer up. If you haven't a smile, get one of somebody and wear it as your own. Let thine heart cheer thee. Give it outlet. Go to sleep with a smile on your face, and you will awaken with a joy in your heart. Let your humor be rich humor. Laughter is the cipher key to a man. It is one of the most delightful sounds of earth. Most utterly lost is the day you laugh not. Mirth clears the mirrors of the mind. A person who does not laugh is not healthy. A merry heart doeth good, like a medicine. To forget your sorrow, begin to cultivate joy. Keep away from sad people, or you will be sad. Stop rehearsing your grief, you only enlarge it. If you suffer grief, find someone in trouble and cheer them. Encourage them, help them, and you will deliver yourself. You will comfort yourself when you comfort another. You cannot lose a loved one. Though absent from the earth plane, they are nearer than ever. Life and love never change. Death is an unreality thought made. Our friends take on new embodiment that is glorified in life and spirit. When you believe you were created in His image and are a partaker of the divine nature, it is easier to believe you shall arise in His likeness. Someday we shall all believe we have not disfigured morally broken natures, but divine natures, supreme in limitless power. Traditions, teachings, education, environment of generations of thinking have disfigured, morally broken, sin-burdened humanity. All are thought-created conditions, thought-made limitations, thought-made original sins, system-cultivated human wrongs, institutionalized teachings of error. But you should know the universe is one undivided soul. You are a yoked fellow with God. You are a part of one complete life. You are a lobe of the infinite brain. You are a supreme personality of absolute personality. Nothing that has life is God damned. Where love is only a dream, the marriage is an alarm clock. If you cannot endure your mother-in-law, you can begin your plans at once to live alone when your children are married. A quarrel between two people to settle things is a good deal like a dog fight in a flower bed. The only things that get settled are the flowers. Nearly always, when you hear the lusty wail of a boy with energy plus filling the air, you can look in at the window and find a woman's hand at the seat of his trouble. You can overwork your notion of neatness. A woman in Vermont crippled her usefulness for life by mopping a hole through her kitchen floor and falling into the cellar. End of chapter 2. Recording by Andrea Fiore. Chapter 3 of Supreme Personality. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Recording by Andrea Fiore. Supreme Personality by Delmer Eugene Croft. Chapter 3. A Supreme Daily Life Method. A Central Plan. Do your mental work in the morning, your manual work in the afternoon. Do not dictate letters in the afternoon. From 10 to 12 in the morning is best. The brain is usually at low ebb at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Do not have your desk so that you have to look sidewise at persons approaching you. It blunts your personality. By no means have people enter behind you. It is the most negative psychic influence possible. Let your position in your office be such that when anyone approaches, your eyes will fall upon them as near a straight level as possible. Plan your workroom for efficiency, no matter how small, how large, or if it be but a bench. Put your character stamp on the plan of the work you do. Go to that work as a king goes to his throne. Centralize your work. Plan it. Work your plan. Have a system of order. Set your mind in order first. If you are living as I have taught in the lessons that have gone before, then your mind will assume a supreme command of order almost at once. Classify what you do. Keep matters separate. Do the big things first. As you classify, drop the non-essentials. Weed out the useless. Never spend a minute of your morning hours winding up a string or folding a piece of wrapping paper. Do that when your brain tide has ebbed out in the afternoon, or not at all. Don't hunt for a pin, or sharpen a pencil, or manicure your nails after you reach your work of the day. Classify your movements, eliminate the useless. Energize your movements. Move with enthusiasm. Put elastic cheer into your step. Wear rubber heels of quiet manners. Simplify your work. Keep it straight. After a little, it will keep you straight. Don't fall over your work, nor step on it, or sit on it. Simplify by stopping the waste of words, waste of material, waste of time. Jollify your work. Put fun into each day's round of toil. Be original in plans and ideas. Cultivate your efficiency. To all the above, add mental energy. Develop insight. Grow new business brain cells. Do not overload your stomach with food, nor your body with clothing. Study directness. Master application. At Niagara Falls, I saw 2 giant dynamos generating 25,000 horsepower. Their efficiency was kept in perfect balance by a little automatic nickel gate. Your efficiency is kept in balance by little invisible and automatic thought neurons. A clear brain is the test of efficiency. Plans, orders, system, application give efficiency. Efficiency is positive thinking, freedom thinking, above fear thinking. Get out and keep out of negative thinking. Just as soon as you drop negative thinking, your mind will begin to rise to a new brilliance of expression. One big element in efficiency is silence. It is the strongest thing to be silent. Noise is emptiness, weakness, inefficiency. Silence is the law of greatness. Noise, the breaking of the law. Develop your power to rest. That person is wise who knows how to rest. It is a powerful thing to rest successfully. Overfed persons or animals do not rest. They are stupefied. Rest is filling your capacities with energy. Sleep knits up the raveled sleeve of care, or it should. Rest is relaxing the nerves and muscles. Rest is reconstructing broken down cellular tissues. Rest is restringing the harp of the senses, retuning the rhythmic harmonies of the spirit. Rest lets down the tension. When you sit down, let what you sit on hold you. When you lie down, do not try to hold yourself on the bed. Rest is the opposite of labor. Rest is recreation. Rest with sleep is a divine restorative. When you cannot rest or sleep, you are expending energy without production. Try this little code for rest and sleep. My mind is empty. My soul is at rest. Repeat it with your eyes closed and your body relaxed. Say it just as you would imagine the swing of the pendulum of an old-fashioned hall clock. I never knew it to fail of inducing sleep. Never rest or sleep with light falling on your eyes. Shut out the world and noise. Grow the fruits of the Spirit. Love, joy, peace, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, temperance. Against such there is no law. Do not sit down and wish for them, nor wait for someone to bring them to you. Even God will not bring them to you. Grow them, cultivate them, produce them. No power on this earth can defeat you, make you fail, or overthrow you if you fill your spirit with them. As you work, use them. Take them with you to the store, the factory, the shop, the mill, to your bench. Take them with you to the office, the counting room, the courtroom, and to your throne room. Take them with you to the battlefield, to the halls of justice, to the Senate chamber, to the presidential chair. Take them with you through the streets, along the highways, and over the unbeaten paths of your life. Take them with you down the rivers and out into the storm-driven sea. Chain them to the wheel of your ship. Sail on through the starless night alone. Trust them, for they are the initiative of the Supreme in you. Train your voice. Take your snarling, growling, snapping, whining voice away into the jungle and leave it to the wild beasts. Take your sobbing, sniveling, trembling, dolorous, sanctimonious voice down into some dismal swamp and bury it. Train your voice as you would tune a harp. Your voice is an index of character. Keep it on the level. Let it speak as one having authority. Charm it with modulation. Make it ripple with music. Allow no thrust of anger to ruffle it. Intensify it with determination. Strengthen it with courage. Give it dominion and power. When other voices are hot and spumming around you, keep your voice cool. Never allow your voice to become dull, dubious, uncertain, shrinking, or hollow. Voice tones that are round, rhythmic, full measured. Have a serene and reposeful voice. Look at what you speak. Reflect your soul in your voice. Let the manner of your voice be calm, smooth, collected, but energized with positive forces. Have a cheerful voice, a voice that makes one think of sunshine and smiles. How to love relatives. To love your relatives, be away from home all you can. To have them love you, keep about 300 miles between you and them. Thousands of homes and lives are wrecked by two families of the same family trying to live under the same roof. Noah would have floundered with the ark 10 days after the flood started if he had not taken more than 2 out of any one family with him. Cain would have never killed Abel if Adam hadn't made the fool blunder of trying to keep his 2 sons everlastingly with him. Of course, there was some excuse in the fact that in those days, New York and Paris were not brilliantly attractive cities. If there is any one thing outside a church row that tickles the devil into a frenzy of laughter, it is when a young married couple go home to live with the family. There is about as much real-life joy and harmony in it as there would be in a jungle picnic of monkeys and parrots. There is just one place where large families can dwell together peacefully: the graveyard. It is contrary to natural law that families of grown-ups should live together. When a cub bear is old enough, big enough to hunt for food, and comes back after he once goes out, his mother gives him a mauling that makes him feel he would rather starve than come back again. Does she love him? Of course she loves him, to the limit of her instinct, loves him to the point of pride that she wants him to be a brave, daring, self-reliant master of the forest. When the whelps of a lion get to be more than playful kittens, the mother leads them into the jungle, slips away, leaving them to hunt. The young lions may return to the old home, but their father and mother have moved away to a distant den. To evolve their natures, to become supreme denizens of the forest, they must rely upon their own prowess. Take the eagle. When the mother eagle by instinct knows the wings of her babies have become strong enough to support their bodies, she pushes them out of the eyrie. They fly, or will be dashed to death on the rocks. They always fly. But you say human beings are not bears, lions, or eagles. Well, humans could well afford to attend the Nature College of the wild animals of the woods, to learn the ethics of health, happiness, and the development of the individual. Treat your relatives royally, then let them alone. Keep out of their affairs. Try to keep them out of your affairs. Be kind, generous, sympathetic, but keep out of the danger zone. Insist upon living by yourself, living your own life, thinking your own thoughts, playing your part in life's drama. Parents wish they could hold their children. The way to hold them is to let go of them. If you love them, you will let go. Love is unselfish. God sent his only Son on the loneliest journey ever taken, and he came back crowned with glory. God can live with lots of people, you and I can't. Abraham amounted to something. God said to him, "Get thee out." And he went out, not knowing whither. He stayed until he became the head of a people as numberless and brilliant as the stars of the heaven. But Isaac hung around home, lived on his father's greatness, and the only real thing he did that was worthwhile was to redig some wells his father had dug before him. The first time he saw his sweetheart Rebecca, whom another man had to go and get for him, he lifted up his voice and cried like a boob. He had become soft on the mutton and grape juice of his father. Tender little doves flit around the home cote, but the eagle sweeps from sun to sun. Anyhow, in these modern days, children are very largely bringing up their parents. To kill a quarrel, shut your mouth. There is a world of sense in the saying, "Sell your hammer and buy a horn." There is one place we can bear a boil and smile, on the other fellow's neck. Many people possess more than 1,000 acres of possibilities and have about half an acre under cultivation. The best way to exterminate mosquitoes would be to start a plan to cultivate them as a money-making commodity. Stop nagging, twitting, insinuating, suspecting those whose love you wish to hold. You assassinate love when you ridicule it. Temper is the yeast of personality. No man or woman ever rises in the world without it. A razor, knife, axe, or writer, actor, minister, without it, isn't worth a damn in any market. Never lose your temper. Lose all things, but keep your temper. When I see people who are great stickers as to form or attitude in prayer, they remind me of my old neighbor, Saxby, who fell into Bill Smith's well. He said, "The prayingest prayer I ever said was in that well standing on my head." Do you know the meanest thing about the worst boy on your street? I will tell you. It is the fact that you do not like him, and he knows it. God never made a mean boy. Parents have made some, towns have made some, and cities have made a host. End of chapter 3. Recording by Andrea Fiore. Chapter 4 of Supreme Personality. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain.